I feel the frustration of what's happening in the community, and I think it's a symptom. The uprisings are a symptom of a pressure that's been unaddressed for too long.
I'm offended by the language of uprising applied to people who are breaking into other black people's stores and looting them.
Gotcha, bitch.
This is a lack of values, and people who are destroying private property, destroying cop cars, in an uprising against what exactly? Against the black police chief, against the mostly minority police force, against the black mayor, against the black president, against the black attorney general, against the against a city council that is 9 of 15 are black and all 15 are elected Democrats. What is the uprising against? What is it seeking to achieve? I still don't see what exactly the riots are seeking to achieve. Bottom line is, it all could be boiled down to just act like a mensch. Act like a human being. Honestly, it's not useful to riot, it's not useful to break things, it's not useful to throw rocks at people. And the idea that we're supposed to correlate your level of outrage with a certain level of justification, in other words, the more outraged you are and the more angry you are, the more justified you must be, is absolute nonsense.
I know you lying. You really want to stop niggas from dying? Stop niggas from trying.
All right. Let me do a follow-up question. This one is directed at Ben and Monique. According to Pew Research, the net worth of white families in 2013 was $141,000. For black families, it was $11,000. Given this disparity, how can you argue that racism is not a driving factor in income inequality?
Because it has nothing to do with race and everything to do with culture. And when you have a culture that doesn't, you know what, explain to me why black kids aren't graduating high school. Explain that one to me. Explain to me why black kids are shooting each other in rates significantly higher than whites are shooting each other. Explain to me why 13% of the population is responsible for 50% of the murder. Explain to me why the number of black kids in prison, not for innocent reasons, not for walking down the street and getting pulled into a prison, is so high. Explain, if it has nothing to do with culture, explain to me why the single motherhood rate in the black community jumped from 20% to 70% in the same course of time that the civil rights movement has made such tremendous strides. Is America more racist now than it was in 1960? And if it is, please explain to me how that happened.
Anybody can jump in. It's an open mic there. Moments ago, both of you were about ready to jump out of your seats, and this is unusual for me because usually that means words will follow. But there was a pause. I want to give you this opportunity to.
Well, Lent is
fire
over,
back.
so let me cross my.
Yeah.
When we're talking about the wealth gap, I have so many responses. It was because of the barriers, the unfair lending practices by the banks.
Do you really think there was collusion between all of the banks not to lend money to black people who are qualified to get the loans? Are banks in the business of racism?
Absolutely. We have absolutely.
You know, white people don't know when they're jacked. And it's really something that you guys got to learn. When you're getting stiffed and jacked by the banks. And it's not a matter of like whether the banks are racist or not. It's whether they're going to make whether they're going to fleece you or not. Wonder how are they going to fleece you? And they will. No, and everybody's got to realize when they will use anything to fleece you. And to me, it's not an issue of like of whether you could say like that fleece you. What happened is the banks were running out of people to make money off in the ordinary system, and so they had to like switch to poor people who had nothing and give them home loans.
Right.
No. My question is I'm not going to say that you know.
No, yeah, this is a good explanation, but I'm just wondering what the point is.
Is it that you know?
Smoke weed every day.